Next up, we have RT Lumpkin and LuAnn Craighton. RT is the Georgia Forestry Commission's Prescribed Fire Center Coordinator, and LuAnn is the Nature Conservancy's Outreach Director, Chattahoochee Fall Line Conservation Partnership. RT and LuAnn will discuss landscape prescribed fire partnership opportunities for landowners. After RT and LuAnn's presentation, which will be a video, Randy Tate, Coordinator, Fort Stewart, Altamaha Longleaf Partnership with the Longleaf Alliance, Brannon Knight, Director of Longleaf Savannah Initiative with the Orianne Society, and Shan Kamak, Fire Safety Officer for Georgia DNR, will join RT and LuAnn for a panel discussion. And one note I forgot to mention this morning, to view this video in full screen, you may need to click View option at the top of your screen and turn off side-by-side viewing. You're on, RT and LuAnn.
My name's LuAnn Craighton, and I work for the Nature Conservancy, and I serve as the Outreach Director and the Local Implementation Team Coordinator for the Chattahoochee Fall Line Conservation Partnership. Our partnership works in West Georgia and East Alabama on the landscape scale conservation, restoration, and management of the longleaf pine ecosystem. Our partnership was launched back in 2011, and since that time, our public agency partners and our Department of Defense partner, Fort Benning, and also our not-for-profit partners have worked very closely together to leverage all of our resources to accomplish a lot of high-quality conservation projects on this landscape. In 2012, we wanted to engage the private landowners in the region more fully, and we launched a broad outreach program. And we focused on education, and we focused on resources that would help private landowners manage their lands if they were interested in the same way we were managing some of our properties. But the partners identified very quickly that the critical component was getting more acres of prescribed fire on the landscape. So we pulled together a working group, a big working group that involved both boots on the ground, land stewards, as well as senior leadership from our different organizations, and we brainstormed ways to get more acres of prescribed fire out on the landscape. The idea that came out of that brainstorming was the creation of the Chattahoochee Fall Line Prescribed Fire Cooperative. It would be led by the Georgia Forestry Commission, but it would be an effort that was truly collaborative and supported by multiple partners. So in 2017, RT Lumpkin was hired as the Prescribed Fire Coordinator, and we're going to hear from him about some of the projects the cooperative has accomplished since it was launched.
Hello, my name is RT Lumpkin. I work for the Georgia Forestry Commission. I am the lead for the Chattahoochee Fall Line Prescribed Fire Cooperative. This is a multi-agency approach to actually increasing the number of acres burned on private lands in this area. Our research has shown that there's about 1 million forested acres here. We're actually hoping to increase the number of acres burned from 4% to 6%. That doesn't seem like a lot, but it's about 20,000 acres. We plan to do that through several methods, or it's more of a shotgun approach. We have a very diverse group of landowners in that 1 million acres. Some that have a lot of experience burning that need a few resources, and some don't even know that prescribed fire is a good thing. So several of the methods that we plan on using are outreach, training events, that we actually put a drip torch in somebody's hand and let them burn something, and actually providing technical assistance and resources. One key component to actually reaching that goal is actually meeting landowners where they're at. So we formed the West Central Georgia Forest Landowners Association. This group is critically important to reaching that goal. Its primary focus is not to increase prescribed fire, but to help landowners meet their objectives. Once they meet their objectives and they know prescribed fire is a good thing, we'll be in place with the necessary tools and resources to help them burn. When we talked to members of the West Central Georgia Forest Landowners Association, we discovered that many do not have the tools to actually implement a prescribed burn. So we developed the West Central Georgia Prescribed Burn Trailer. Let's check it out. The burn trailer behind me contains all the tools and equipment needed to safely and efficiently conduct a prescribed burn. How did we decide what goes into the trailer? Simple. We surveyed the members of the West Central Georgia Forest Landowners Association. We took that information and provided it to our partners to assemble the resources needed to make this trailer a success. This trailer did not cost the state any funds. It does contain a lot of expensive equipment that requires a fee to upkeep. So we decided to charge $100 a day to rent this trailer. Come with me and let's take a look at what's inside. As you can see, there's a lot of contents in here that actually help the private landowners do prescribed burning as well as prepare their land to actually make the burn successful. Some of the items in it are the prescribed burn ahead signs that notify the public that this is a prescribed burn and not a wildfire. An ATV water tank that's handy for mop-up or control of small spots, as well as some of our hand-operated tools like the bladder bag, drip torches, fire rakes, shovels, etc. Another key item that's in this trailer is the blower. This is a very handy tool when installing fire breaks on highly erodible sites or on roads that you really don't want to plow or harrow up. As you can see, this blower is very effective in making a fire break. Along with private landowners using this, we also use it as a tool cache to support our prescribed fire training efforts for private landowners in this area. Come with me to the track to see an example of these exercises. In the previous video, you saw a prescribed burn that was conducted here in Marion County. We're at that site today and I think it looks pretty good. Technical assistance comes in many forms. All of our partners provide good advice. Some of that advice can just be when to burn, some of it can actually be helping you burn. That expanded knowledge from all our different partners can be confusing to some private landowners. We utilize an event called a Learn and Burn to solve that problem. On those events, landowners get to talk with our partners, like our local GFC County Rangers, TNC, DNR, and other partners, to learn and ask questions as the day goes along. They actually can write a burn plan, install fire breaks, tote a drip torch, and customize that day to what they want to learn about. The problem with learning burns is we can't control the weather, so we're developing a new program called LIFT, or Landowner Field Trips. This allows us to take information from private landowners about what they want to learn. Maybe it's a young longleaf stand like we're in today, or a site prep burn, or a working forest. We'll take that information and marry it up with a partner-led burn in the area and actually take them out to experience a prescribed fire one-on-one. They can ask questions and we can tailor the experience to what they need. Let's hear from a landowner that's participated in the LIFT program.
Well, my understanding was after early spring you didn't burn. Everything was too green. You've got a lot of fuel, dry fuel right at the ground level, which is where the fire is actually consuming the fuel. So that's something that people in this area can learn, is that even during the summer months you can burn with the right conditions.
We would like to give a special thank you to the Nature Conservancy and Georgia Pacific for providing the UTV that'll make this program possible. Let's go talk about some cost share. When we surveyed private landowners in the area, they indicated that they needed cost share to actually get prescribed burning done. So we leveraged our strong partnerships in the area to gather the necessary resources to start the West Central Georgia Prescribed Fire Initiative. Thanks to DNR's Bobwhite Quail Initiative and the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation's grant opportunities that made this initiative possible. This initiative focuses on bobwhite quail and gopher tortoise habitat. It resulted in over 6,500 acres being burned on 72 different landowners. We look forward to growing this initiative in 2021. For more information on upcoming events, please like us on Facebook by searching the West Central Georgia Forest Landowners Association, or simply search keyword WCGFLA. The co-op and our many partners look forward to listening to you and actually helping you manage your property going forward. The Prescribed Fire Cooperative, assisting private landowners with prescribed fire today and for future generations.
Papa,
What?
are they gonna go put out that fire?
All right. Great video, guys. That is fantastic. Let me tell you, Burner Bob and I have dabbled in the video world, and it's hard to pull off a video like that. You guys did a great job. So I would like RT to join us now, and LuAnn from the video. We're going to have a panel discussion, play a little bit of Hollywood Squares. I'm going to pull in our IBT partners from the southeastern Georgia as well, Randy Tate and Brannon Knight. You guys already met RT and LuAnn. So Randy, go ahead and introduce yourself.
I will. Thanks very much. I'm Randy Tate. I'm with the Longleaf Alliance, a nonprofit focused on everything about Longleaf that I hope you will have heard of by now. And but for the Alliance, I serve as the Fort Stewart Altamaha Longleaf Partnership Coordinator. And the partnership, or it's called LIT, Local Implementation Team, is one of the significant geographic areas for Longleaf as designated by America's Longleaf Restoration Initiative back in 2005. So our LIT covers about 5 million acres. It's in southeast Georgia. Our anchor sites are Fort Stewart and the many conserved areas along the lower Altamaha River. So that's our focal area. The partnership was chartered in 2014. We've got 14 members. Nature Conservancy, Orianne, and GFC are members. And we've been funding a lot through the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation's Longleaf Stewardship Fund. And with that money, we've been doing a lot of longleaf seedling planting, but we're really focused on fire. Getting proper fire back on the ground is the main goal and the main thing that we think we need to make all these ecosystems healthy and support all the critters that they have. So native ground cover restoration is one of our big focuses also, and because we recognize its importance for diversity, but also for carrying fire. So we've done a lot of that, and Orianne Society actually has, as does the Nature Conservancy, they have some donor sites for longleaf native ground cover that we're working on and trying to prepare for future sharing with private landowners.
Cool. Thanks, Randy. And Brannon, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, so my name is Brannon Knight, and I work for the Orianne Society, and I'm the director of our Longleaf Fans Initiative. So we started in about 2008, but we are a nonprofit that's actually devoted to rare reptile and amphibian conservation while using science, education, and applied conservation to get the job done. But the bulk of my job, though, is focusing on habitat restoration work within the longleaf pine ecosystem and just putting fire back onto the landscape, which is mainly my focus. So to kind of put things in perspective, there are about 290 species of reptile and amphibians that can be found within the Southeast. And of that, actually 170 species are found within the longleaf pine ecosystem. So with over 90% of the land base in Georgia that is privately under private ownership, we recognize the importance of working with the private landowner to conserve these species. So we set out and look for private landowners who are conservation minded and that have similar interests as us, and we work with them to actually put fire on the ground. And so, but we also work with our agency and other NGO partners such as Georgia DNR, Longleaf Alliance, and TNC within our what we call our IBT, as Shan I think mentioned earlier, and we also assist them in helping them meeting our fire management objectives as well.
Awesome. I know there's a number of people from different states out there. So if you guys would like to know more about how state, federal, and private agencies can work together as a real team, you know, reach out to us. We can share our memorandum of understanding with you and kind of give you some tricks of the trade of how we've developed this partnership. Okay, so audience, now's the time. Private landowners, if you guys have questions about these programs or the trailer, something that you saw in the video, go ahead and type those in to the Q&A. And we'll get those to the panelists. First, you know, Brannon, I'd like to ask you, I know one of the toughest things working with private landowners is garnering trust. What do you do to achieve that?
Well, Shannon, that's definitely true. But for me, I think the biggest thing is just seeing the relationship as more than just a work relationship. I've always said that the biggest thing to me is the friendships that come along the way. And spending time with each other and getting to know one another is just huge. But also showing them that we know what we're doing. But we have a lot of training from the Georgia Certified Burner course all the way to National Wildfire Coordinating Group courses. And we have a lot of experience. We put a lot of fire on the ground. But sometimes it takes a long time, you know, really to garner that trust. And what I've seen is after the first burn, it really tends to kind of break the ice and they typically become more comfortable. But you definitely can't just go in guns blazing, if you will. But lastly, showing that you legitimately care about their land. And I think that is really a key component alone. But understanding that timber objectives as well are very important, even though when that's not, for us as an organization, it's not our number one objective.
Right, yeah. I know that the IBT partners are all super passionate about what we do, and we're all about fire for sensitive species and fire for, you know, making it safe for the public. RT, tell us your strategy for working with private landowners and winning over that trust.
Well, Brandon's 100% correct on just being upfront and honest and being professional with everyone, but we often have to consider what we're going to work on. That's somebody's significant investment or a piece of property that's been in their family for years, and it's very special to them, and you don't just let anybody into your home. So working on that trust and helping them reach their objectives incrementally over time helps you gain that trust. And then we all know that prescribed fire is a good thing. And if you're managing your forest, you'll be using it over time, just whenever the scenario is right.
Cool. So RT, someone's asking what counties does the cooperative cover?
Sure. There's 7 counties that it covers. That's Muskogee, Chattahoochee, Marion, Sly, Taylor, Harris, and Talbot counties.
Okay.
Basically areas around Fort Benning and Columbus.
Cool. And that prescribed burn trailer, is that something that's happening in other parts of the state? Randy, do you have anything going on in Southeast Georgia?
I muted myself. Yes, we will. We will be having the Longleaf Alliance is going to be working with the Georgia Forestry Commission through funding from NRCS and Department of Defense. And we're going to be focusing on the Southeast, the area where the partnership is, where the Fort Stewart Altamaha partnership is, with there will be 2 burn trailers coming down the road, we hope. And then there will be other trainings too in this pilot project for getting more fire on the ground.
Awesome. Cool. Hey, LuAnn, tell us about some of the additional opportunities that you see for the co-op. I know you guys are always reaching out to landowners to find out what's important to them.
Sure, Shan. You know, we want to continue what we're doing, but we also want to expand our landowner engagement. I mean, we kind of know who we know and who knows us, but expanding that circle, seeking new ways to reach landowners who don't know us as well. So maybe our absentee landowners, some of our underserved landowners, including some of our female landowners, developing deeper dialogues with some of those folks. That's something that really needs to happen. We also feel an obligation to really keep actively listening and hearing the emerging needs that the landowners express to us, and then respond, you know, to those needs, because our greatest successes have come from addressing specific needs. So if there's something y'all think the co-op could help with, I mean, certainly reach out to RT or reach out to me. We'll work to fill those gaps. And, you know, to date, we've had a really diverse group of supporters and funders to bring the co-op to where it is. And we are grateful for each and every one, but we're going to need to continue to seek flexible funding that lets us be nimble, because we want to hear the needs, we want to respond to the needs in a timely way, and, you know, keep it as simple as we can. Landowners only have a certain amount of time to spend on land management, and we want to try to keep it simple, so we'll keep them engaged.
Cool. I know that we all have limited funds, so it's even more important now to kind of prioritize, like, what's the important thing to be spending our limited funds on. And LuAnn, you might want to answer this, or RT. Someone was asking about any success in getting multiple landowners to assist each other on burns. I think that would be kind of like a PBA, a prescribed burn association. You guys want to address that?
Go ahead, RT.
Absolutely. Those prescribed burn associations are small groups of landowners that form a coalition, so to speak, that they all share resources. One may have a tractor, one may have a couple of drip torches, a couple of UTVs. They just organize their burning efforts around their schedules, and they just help each other burn. And we can talk to landowners that are interested in setting one of those up, and look forward to doing it. I think we're close to having one in the West Central Georgia area right now, but it takes some effort and some time to get some resources together. We could potentially even have a small trailer, like you saw in the previous video, dedicated to a PBA. So we definitely look forward to trying to establish a couple of those around the state.
Cool.
You know, Shan, I'd add to that, our county units, we work so closely with them. So it's RTs seeing the opportunity, you know, for PBAs, but it's our GFC county units who see adjacent landowners, see landowners with similar interests, and they certainly help us think through those things as well.
Cool.
Also,
sounds good.
Absolutely.
Also in our area, Shan, we've been talking about a prescribed burn association for a while. Brannon, as he told you, works with a lot of private landowners, so hopefully we can get one going down the road.
Awesome. Yeah, so Doug in North Carolina is trying to set something up. He might be reaching out to you, Randy, and RT and LuAnn to kind of see what your roadmap has been to get that rolling. So look out for contact from Doug. Brannon, tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing to open up your window of availability to burn.
So if I had to sum it up between like two things, it would be not burning opportunities and just multiple operations in a day. Now, obviously, not burning has its own associated challenges, especially from a smoke management standpoint. So it's definitely not always an option. But like just some quick examples from this year, you know, we worked hand in hand with our local GFC guys as far as getting a permit and just being open with them as far as what our thoughts, looking at weather together, and it worked out. But like one particular example, we had a cold front move through. We were burning some 5-year rough flat woods under some slash pine, pretty open canopy. And cold front came through super low after the cold front passed, super low humidities, high winds, that day. Well, that night it was just perfect burning conditions. It was like you're burning during the day, but you just flip the light switch off. And so, as everybody knows, we only have so many days that we can actually burn throughout the year. So by sometimes being creative and capitalizing on those days or nights, it allows you to get more work done. And then multiple operations in a day. And, you know, I will say that the only way we could have done this is through our partnerships that we have with our various agencies that we work with, such as DNR, TNC, Longleaf Alliance, and so on. And honestly, I think it's just a great example of how our partnerships can definitely build our capacity for working together to help everyone meet their fire management goals. So like for a private landowner standpoint, PBA, that's a great, I can see that really as being a great way for private landowners to actually get more work done on the ground, because without the IBT, Interagency Burn Team, and this Longleaf, Fort Stewart, Altamont partnership, there's no way we can meet our goals. So,
yeah, working together, we're all in this together. Definitely coming together for the common goals. Okay, so we have a special poll question that dovetails with this panel discussion. So we're going to have Lisa go ahead and deploy that. Now, this is just for people who are private landowners or managers. Okay, if you're not that, don't worry about answering. We would like to know, what do you need the most to assist you in executing more fire on your property, either today or in the future as you're building your program? You only get to pick one. So look through these different things that were covered in the video and our panel discussion, and let us know, what is the most important thing to help you get more fire on the ground? All right, answer in, and we'll see what you guys are looking for. And again, you guys can reach out to any of us that you've met here today in our virtual meeting. We're easy to find through our agencies, and we're just really happy to help to get more fire on the ground, wherever that might be. So, all right, Lisa, do we have? Oh, we got a bet going. I won't say what we're betting, but yes, cost assistance came on top. Everybody needs money. So more than a third of you guys would like money. I get that. Let's see what's next. Professional hands-on assistance with burning. RT, you called that one. So about 20% of you guys are looking for that. A number of people would like the GSC certified burn manager course. So Ken, get on that. We're all ready to send you some people for that. Burn trailer, a few people. A little bit of professional advice. That's interesting. Okay, well, we're going to take your poll results to heart and put that to use in building our programs and moving out into the future. I want to thank our panel discussion, all you guys, and all the great work that you do. And Frank, it's back to you.
Thank you, Shan, LuAnn, Randy, RT, Brannon, for that. All that information is like drinking out of a fire hose sometimes, but we all know we can call any of you to find out questions we might have after this meeting. So please do so.